Hello there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training website, passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to pass a final interview. So if you have a final interview coming up for any role or any organization whatsoever, make sure you stay tuned because I will help you to be successful. Now, if you are new to this channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe button because I am on a mission to help you pass your interview and also to help you progress throughout your career. And I can only do that if you are subscribed. And please make sure you hit that like button because that tells me you find the content useful and it also motivates me to create more content for you. Thank you very much. So let's get straight into this presentation and I'm going to teach you how to pass your final interview. So to begin with, what is a final interview? Well, a final interview is used to confirm that you are the right person for the job. Therefore, it is imperative that you don't treat it as a formality. Don't think to yourself, I've got a final interview, I'm guaranteed to get this job, because that is certainly not the case. Yes, the employer is very interested in hiring you, but the final interview is used to confirm that you are the right person. And on that basis, there is likely to be more people, different people, at the final interview than there were at the first interview. There could be 2, 3, or even 4 people at your final interview. So the interviewer wants to get a second opinion. They want other people in the room to decide whether you are the right person or not for this particular role. So it's very important that you prepare fully for a final interview as if you would do for a first interview. So I now want to give you 8 really important tips for passing your final interview. Make sure you take notes because each of the following tips is going to help you to land your dream job. Final interview tip number 1, make sure you research the company some more before you go along to the final interview. My advice is to make sure you find out something interesting about their company that has attracted you to work for them. So when they say to you, what motivates you to work for our organization, you can give something unique and something genuine that has attracted you to their company. Final interview tip number 2. Make sure you take along with you to the final interview your resume or your CV. Take it along with you in a nice presentation folder, something that demonstrates that you have high standards and you are professional. And you should also take along with you any evidence you have, written evidence of how you have performed in previous roles. So written evidence could include details of where you have completed difficult and challenging projects, and also where you have collaborated with other people to achieve difficult tasks. So take along with you your resume or CV, and also where possible, include any evidence of previous high work performance. Final interview tip number 3. This is a really good one. Take along with you 2 written references from people who recommend you for the role. Now, of course, you are not going to get a reference from your employer until you have been offered the job. But think about people you know within your professional network who are likely to recommend you for the position. Get them to write a short note saying that they think you will be a perfect fit for the role and take those references along with you. There is nothing more powerful than a written recommendation from someone who says you are the right person for the role. Final interview tip number 4. This is very important, but it is often overlooked by people because they think the final interview is a formality. It's really important that you still dress professionally for your final interview. How you dress and how you present yourself during your final interview says a lot about your intentions, and it also demonstrates that you care about this role very much. So make sure you dress professionally and you also demonstrate good manners throughout your job interview. Final interview tip number 5. At some stage during your final interview, I recommend you tell the interviewers that you really want this job. Remember, you have to sell yourself. You will be up against other people. So I believe it's important that you demonstrate lots of enthusiasm for this position. Show that you are passionate about getting this job. So I would be saying at some stage during the final interview, whilst I appreciate you are interviewing other candidates, I genuinely want this role. I genuinely believe believe I am the right person for the position, and I genuinely believe I can contribute for a long time into the future and help you to achieve your commercial goals. That's a great thing to say. It shows that you have enthusiasm and passion for the position, which is really important. Final interview tip number 6. It is really important that you prepare 3 smart questions to ask at the end of the final interview. Now, once the final interview comes to a close, the interview panel are going to say to you, that's the end of the interview. Do you have any questions for us? And my advice is to only ask questions that show that you care about their organization. So the first question you could ask is, how do you see the company evolving over the next few years? This tells me that you want to stay working for them for a long period of time, and you are also interested in the development of the company. Question number 2 to ask at the end of your final interview is, what's the culture like within this company? That shows that you understand that in order for an organization to be effective, it needs to have a positive working culture. And you are demonstrating by asking that question that you want to find out what goes on in the organization and how people operate. And you are also curious about the values that they expect their staff to adhere to. So that's a great question to ask. What's the culture like within the company? And the third and final question to ask at the end of your final interview is, what advice would you give to the successful candidate who wants to excel in the role? This is a great thing to ask because it demonstrates that you are the type of person who is open to feedback and you are willing to take on board their advice. That's a great thing to ask at the end of your interview. What advice would you give to the successful candidate who wants to excel in the position? Final interview tip number 7. Now, often during final interviews, the interviewer will give you the opportunity to have a look around their organization. They might say to you, once the interview is finished, would you now like to come and have a look around the company? If they give you that opportunity, make sure you say yes. And when you walk around, introduce yourself to the other team members and ask them questions. You could say, how long have you worked here? You could say, I've heard some great things about this company. Do you enjoy your role? So make sure you are polite and you put yourself across in a positive manner when meeting other team members within the organization. Final interview tip number 8. Now, in a second, I am going to give you some final interview questions to prepare for. These are really important. But just quickly, tip number 8 is to make sure that once the final interview is over, you send a follow-up email thanking the interviewers for their time. Now, I have brought along with me today the exact email that I recommend you send once your final interview is over. So here it is. Start off your email with Dear Sir or Dear Madam. RE, thank you following the final interview today. That's the subject heading. Thank you following the interview today. And then the main body of the email is to say something like this. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for interviewing me for the position today. I am genuinely excited about the prospect of working for your organization. If you need any further information, details, or evidence to help you make a decision, please do not hesitate to contact me. I look forward to hearing from you. Yours faithfully, and then sign off with your full name. And don't forget to put your contact telephone number at the bottom of the email. So that's a great tip for making sure you stand out further during your final interview, and you also show really good manners. So make sure you send a follow-up email immediately after the final interview has finished. What I am now going to do is to give you a number of final interview questions to prepare for. Now, don't be surprised if some of the questions from your initial interview are duplicated during the final interview. Remember, there's likely to be different people at the final interview and they may ask you the same questions. So the first final interview question you need to prepare an answer to is, tell me about yourself. Now, if you want a brilliant answer to this question, make sure you click the link at the top of the video right now and it will take you through to another video on YouTube where I teach you a cracking answer to that final interview question, tell me about yourself. The second final interview question that I recommend you prepare for is, What motivates you? That's a brilliant question. Because a lot of people will talk about what they get up to outside of work, but that's not the way to answer this question. So when they say to you, what motivates you? Talk about how you are driven to succeed at work, and also talk about the fact that outside of work, you have your own personal and life goals, and the only way that you will achieve those is by working to a very high standard whilst you are at work. So consider carefully what motivates you and what drives you to succeed in your work role. The next interview question that I recommend you prepare for is, what are your interests outside of work? Or they may simply phrase it as, what are your hobbies and interests? Now, either way, you must be very careful how you answer this question. Do not say that when you are outside of work, you are going out and having a great time with your friends, letting your hair down. This is your opportunity to show the interviewer that you are somebody who is a family person, somebody who takes good care of themselves, and also somebody who is focused on personal development. So I would be answering this question by saying that I like to spend time with my family and my friends. I like going to the gym or maintaining physical activities a few times a week because that improves my concentration levels at work. And I am also spending time learning something new, like, for example, learning to play a musical instrument or reading self-development books or taking online courses. So those are great things to say about what you do outside of work, because it shows that you're a stable person and somebody who takes good care of their health and well-being and their personal development. The next final interview question that I want you to prepare an answer to is, how can you contribute to our organization? That's a great question, and it puts you on the spot. How are you going to contribute to their organization? I would be focusing on saying that I have the necessary skills and qualities already that are a match for the job description. And remember, the job description is a blueprint for the role. And if you've got the skills and qualities to excel in the position, that's music to the ears of the interviewer. You could also say that you have a proven track record of achievement, and that's how you're going to help their organization to succeed moving forward. And if you do say that you have a proven track record of achievement, make sure you back up your claims with specific examples of where you have done so in previous roles. And you could also say that you will bring a level of experience that's going to be beneficial to their company and to help them move forward into the future. And the next question that I want you to prepare an answer to is, what are your salary expectations? Now, to help you negotiate the highest salary possible within your final interview, I have created a brilliant video, an example where I go into an interview and I negotiate a salary, the salary that I want. And if you'd like to watch that video, click that link at the top of this video right now, and it will take you through to my video on YouTube where I teach you how to negotiate a salary. Make sure you check that out. Now, if you'd like to learn more answers to final interview questions, make sure you click the link in the description below the video, because that will take you through to another video right here on YouTube. There's lots of them that are going to help you to pass your final interview. I work through loads of final interview questions and I give you top scoring answers, scripted answers that you can use in your interview. Make sure you check that out right now. So we've now come to the end of the video, and I hope you found those tips and those sample questions useful in your pursuit for preparing for your final interview. Make sure you check out those other resources. They are going to help you to be the standout candidate. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please do hit that like button. I very much appreciate your support. And you can also connect with me on LinkedIn. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video, and it's always great to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you so much for watching and for paying attention, and I wish you all the best for passing your final interview. Have a brilliant day. There is an interview question that keeps coming up during job interviews, but candidates keep answering it incorrectly. And that question is, what do you do in your free time? Now, the majority of candidates think this is an invitation to start talking about how they go out with their friends drinking, or how they spend loads of time on the internet or scrolling through social media. Those are not the things you want to say in response to this difficult interview question. So if you have a job interview coming up soon for any role or organization, make sure you watch this presentation from start to finish, because I will give you the perfect scripted answer. And just very quickly, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's really important because then I can help you progress throughout your career and pass every job interview you ever attend. And please give the video a like because that motivates me to create more content for you. Thank you very much. Let's jump straight into the tutorial. So to help you pass your interview, I will cover the following 4 things during this tutorial. Number 1, I will explain why the interviewer is asking you the question, what do you do in your free time? Now there is a specific reason why this question is being asked. And if you want to pass your interview, you need to know what it is. Number 2, I will then tell you 5 things you should never say you do in your free time during an interview. These 5 things are red flags to an employer, so make sure you avoid them at all costs. Number 3, I will then tell you the 10 things you can do in your free time that the hiring manager will find interesting and appealing. And then number 4, I will give you 3 brilliant scripted answers to the interview question, what do you do in your free time, to help you pass your interview. So why is the interviewer asking you the question, what do you do in your free time? Now, whilst it really isn't anybody's business what you do in your free time, the hiring manager is asking you this interview question for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, what you do in your free time often says a lot about your personality, your values, your goals, and your work ethic. They want to employ someone who uses their free time in a certain way. And reason number 2, if you are the type of person who burns the candle at both ends, you are likely to go off sick more than the average employee, and you are less likely to be flexible in your working hours. So as you can see, the answer you give to the interview question, what do you do in your free time, is going to contribute significantly to the overall outcome of your job interview. So let me now tell you 5 things you should never say you do in your free time during a job interview. Now these 5 things are red flags to a hiring manager, so make sure you avoid them at all costs. Number 1, don't say you go out drinking and socializing regularly. Now whilst there's nothing wrong with drinking and socializing, the hiring manager could think your concentration levels at work won't be up to the required standard. Number 2, don't say you spend your free time on social media. Now again, whilst there's nothing wrong with going on social media, it isn't really a good use of your time. And you could be the type of employee who is always scrolling on their phone when they should actually be working. Number 3, don't say you spend your free time playing computer games. Now, if you're on your computer playing games for hours on end, you are less likely to be energized and motivated when you are at work. Number 4, don't say you spend your free time working. Now, if you have a second job or if you are running a business in your spare time, these are not good things to say when answering this difficult interview question. Now, if the hiring manager thinks you are also working elsewhere, they won't be convinced you will be 100% committed to their company. And number 5, don't say you spend your free time watching television. Now, watching television is actually a good way to unwind and relax. However, if you spend hours on end watching television or YouTube videos, apart from this channel, of course, the hiring manager might think you are someone who is lazy and lacks drive and ambition. Now, before I give you those brilliant scripted answers to the difficult interview question, what do you do in your free time? Let me tell you 10 positive ways you can spend your time. Number 1 is to say that you read. Now, there are so many benefits to reading, including increased concentration levels, improved use of words and vocabulary. It helps you to learn, it helps you to relax, and it can also help reduce anxiety and stress. Number 2 is to say that you have a hobby or a pastime. Now, if you have a hobby or pastime, again, it can help you to relax, but it also tells the hiring manager you are the type of person who has a passion and you can commit yourself to something meaningful. Now, more often than not, hobbies require the ability to learn and apply yourself consistently over a prolonged period of time. Number 3 is to say that you play a musical instrument. Now, playing a musical instrument is great on so many levels. Firstly, you have to learn how to play the instrument, which takes time, effort, commitment, and concentration. Secondly, it often means you play your musical instrument alongside other people, and this requires teamwork, understanding, and collaboration skills. And finally, playing a musical instrument is a great way to relax, unwind, and improve your mental health. Number 4 is to say that you look after your family or your relatives. You might be a single parent, or you might be taking care of elderly or sick relatives. Now, if you are a single parent, hats off to you. This takes discipline, patience, understanding, and lots of energy. If you are looking after sick parents or relatives, it shows you to be a compassionate and considerate person. Now, all of these skills and qualities are very much needed in the workplace, and they will be appealing to the hiring manager. Number 5 is to say that you are part of a group, club, or society. Now, this is a brilliant one to say how you spend your free time. You might sing in a choir, be part of a neighborhood watch group, be a member of a swimming or running club, or even be part of a dance class. Whichever one it is, if you are part of a group, club, or society, it tells the interviewer you are someone who has good teamworking and communication skills. Number 6 is to say that you study online training courses. Now, if you are the type of person who often studies online by way of videos or training courses through websites such as udemy.com, this shows you to be someone who wants to continually learn, improve, and grow as a person, which can only be a good thing for the employer. Number 7 is to say you keep yourself fit and active. Now, if you keep yourself fit and active by attending a gym, or by cycling, running, or gardening, for example, it often means your concentration levels are far better than the average person. You have lots of energy, and you can easily deal with the stress and pressures of the workplace. Number 8 is to say that you spend your free time with friends and family. Now, if you spend time with your friends and family, it will often mean you are a caring person, you are settled and stable, and you have specific social and interpersonal skills that are undoubtedly going to be useful in the workplace. Number 9 is to say that you have creative interests. Now, creative interests include painting and drawing, sewing, acting, and even digital photography. Now, creativity is an invaluable workplace skill that can help a business grow, increase sales, and also develop new products and services. And number 10, before I give you those scripted example answers, is to say that you volunteer. This is a brilliant one. Now, volunteering is a great way to use your free time, and I guarantee it will impress the hiring manager. If you volunteer, you are probably a caring person with a selfless attitude who always puts the needs of others before your own. So let me now give you 3 brilliant example scripted answers to that really difficult interview question: what do you do in your free time? Please tell me in the comment section below the video which answer option 1, 2, or 3 you think is the strongest. What do you do in your free time? Answer option number 1. Here we go. I like to use my free time productively. I visit the gym 3 times a week to do cardio workouts. I particularly enjoy using the cycling and rowing machines. Exercise helps me to maintain a positive mindset. It reduces stress and it increases concentration levels. I also enjoy spending time with my friends, family, and reading. I have just finished reading Jocko Willink's book entitled Extreme Ownership. It was a great read because it taught me the skill of taking ownership of difficult challenges in my life and how to achieve my goals. What do you do in your free time? Answer option number 2. Here we go. I am a creative person, and in my free time, I enjoy digital photography, reading, and studying self-development training courses. I taught myself how to take professional standard photographs by undertaking online training tutorials and by reading books. I am at my happiest when I am learning new things, and I have the discipline to sit down, apply myself, and learn. Finally, I love animals, and I have a 7-year-old dog that I take care of and often walk in my free time. And what do you do in your free time? Answer option number 3. I am a single parent whose free time is mostly taken up by raising my children. Being a single parent has given me numerous important life skills. I am a good multitasker. I am reliable. I have empathy for others, and I always make sure my tasks and responsibilities are completed on time. Finally, I do enjoy keeping fit, and when I get the time, I like to go out running. Running makes me happy, it gives me energy, and it helps to reduce stress and increase concentration levels when I am at work. So there's 3 brilliant example answers to that really challenging interview question, what do you do in your free time? Don't forget to tell me in the comment section below the video which answer option 1, 2 or 3 you think is the strongest. So the next thing to do if you want to pass your job interview is click that link right now in the top right hand corner of the video, head through to my website passmyinterview.com, and you can download my full set of 50 brilliant example answers to challenging interview questions. It's a fantastic resource. You can have it within your inbox within 2 minutes from now, and it's guaranteed to put you ahead of the competition at your forthcoming interview. Make sure you check that out. Finally, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Literally thousands of you are passing your job interviews, and I can only help you if you are subscribed. Please give the video a like, because that tells me you find these tutorials useful and it motivates me to create more content for you. Thank you very much. And don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video. It's always great to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all the best for passing your interview. Have a great day. It is a well-known fact that there are 5 interview questions candidates keep failing their interviews on. Now, these questions are designed to put you under pressure, and they are also designed to sift out those candidates who are not going to be a good fit for the organization. So if you have a job interview coming up soon for any role or any organization, you do not want to miss this tutorial. Not only will I tell you what those 5 hardest interview questions are, I will also give you top scoring answers. And just very quickly, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, because then I can help you pass every job interview you ever attend and also progress throughout your career. And please give the video a like, because that tells me you find these tutorials useful. Thank you very much. Let's jump straight into the presentation. So to help you pass your job interview, I will cover the following 3 things during this tutorial. Number 1, I will tell you what the 5 hardest interview questions are. Now, these questions will come up during your job interview, and how you answer them is going to be the difference between a pass or a fail. Number 2, I will explain why these 5 interview questions are being asked, and I will also give you a very important tip for answering every one of them. And then finally, number 3, I will give you the perfect scripted answer to all 5 questions to make sure you are fully prepared for your interview. So to begin with, what are the 5 hardest interview questions? Well, in descending order, they are: question number 1, what didn't you like about your last job? This is a really difficult interview question to answer because it is assessing your levels of honesty and your reasons for leaving your job. Question number 2 is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Now, this is one of the hardest interview questions to answer, because if we're honest, we don't even know where you are going to be next year, let alone in 5 years' time. Having said that, there is a way you need to answer this difficult interview question if you are going to pass your interview, which I will give to you very soon. Question number 3 is, why should I hire you? Now, this has always been one of the hardest interview questions to answer correctly, because the truth is, you just want a job. But to say you should hire me because I want a job is not going to get you hired. Again, this could be the one interview question that decides whether or not you are going to get taken on in the role. Therefore, you have to make sure you give a brilliant, Powerful answer that proves you can add value in the position. Question number 4 is what makes you unique? Now, this is one of the hardest interview questions to answer because the interviewer is using it to determine which candidate is the best person for the job. But what does make a person unique? Well, very soon I will give you an outstanding answer that is guaranteed to impress the hiring manager. And question number 5 is, what is your biggest weakness? Now, this interview question catches out 95% of candidates. You can't say you don't have any weaknesses, and you certainly can't give a weakness that is a match for the job you have applied for. But again, very soon I will give you the perfect scripted answer that will help you to be the standout candidate. So let's now take a look at each question individually. I will give you an important tip for answering each of the 5 interview questions, and then a top scoring answer that will make sure you pass your interview. Interview question number 1. What didn't you like about your last job? Now, this question is being asked to assess the reasons why you wanted to leave your last job or why you want to leave your current job if you are still in position. Do not, under any circumstances, be disrespectful about your former employer, your boss, or your work colleagues. Give an answer that demonstrates you are an ambitious and driven person who wants to succeed. Here's my brilliant top scoring answer. What didn't you like about your last job? Here we go. There wasn't much I disliked about my last job. They were very supportive, and the team I was a part of were all hard working. However, one area that did frustrate me slightly was the fact that I didn't think the company had achieved its full potential. There were opportunities to grow the business in our market area and expand the product range, but the company owners were happy to maintain the business's position. Now, being an ambitious person, I wanted to do more and get involved with different projects, but the opportunities to do so never materialized. However, working for you, I think I will get more job satisfaction because of your ambitious plans and your innovative approach to business. Interview question number 2 is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Now, one of the easiest ways to pass your job interview is to demonstrate to the interviewer that you want to build a career with their company. Don't forget, hiring someone for any job role genuinely takes a lot of time and effort, and it also costs the company financially in terms of your monthly salary. Therefore, the last thing they want to do is take someone on in the role who has plans to move on within the first couple of years of starting. Here's a great example answer to help you. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Here we go. The company I work for is really important to me. Now, we spend a lot of time at work, and I genuinely want that time to be put to good use in a role that I enjoy doing and for a company that wants to be the market leader. In 5 years, I still plan to be working for you. I envisage having developed considerably by undertaking training courses and by learning new skills on the job. In 5 years from now, I would also want to be respected, trusted, and a high-performing member of the team, and perhaps having even gained advancement to a more senior level. Essentially, I want to build a long-term career with your company. Interview question number 3 is, why should I hire you? Now, this is undoubtedly one of the hardest interview questions to answer correctly. This is your opportunity to sell yourself. Now, the interviewer is asking you this question because it can help them to decide which candidate is the one person who can add the most value to their business. They don't want someone in the role who will just do the bare minimum. They want someone passionate, driven, and commercially focused. Here's a great example answer to help you. Why should I hire you? Here we go. I believe you should hire me because I already have the right skills, qualities, and the drive to match the job description. You should hire me because I am a very quick learner. I will make sure I fit into your team and start achieving straight away. You should hire me because I am flexible. I will do tasks that are outside of my job description, and I will be available to work extra hours if needed to help out the business. Finally, you should hire me because I am commercially focused. This means I will be a positive role model when representing the company brand, and I will look for ways to help your business grow financially, whilst at the same time being frugal with resources and supplies to help the company save money. Interview question number 4 is, what makes you unique? Now again, this interview question is your chance to stand out from the other candidates. Now this question is being asked because the hiring manager clearly wants to take someone on in the role who is going to make a difference to their team. Here's a brilliant top scoring answer to help you pass your interview. What makes you unique? Here we go. Several things make me unique. The first thing is my ability to communicate and interact with people in a way that makes them feel comfortable. I am great with customers and clients, and I am a very supportive team worker. Now this is good for your business because I can help you increase sales, and I will always put the needs of the team above everything else. Now the second thing that makes me unique is my drive, my desire to continually improve, and my understanding of how important change is within an organization. I will never do the bare minimum. I will support the company with its strategic vision, and I will help you to achieve your goals. Interview question number 5 is, what's your biggest weakness? Now this is the number 1 hardest interview question to answer. It is being asked for several reasons. Now the first reason is the interviewer wants to see if you are honest about your weaknesses. If you say you don't have any, you won't be getting hired. Also, if you give a weakness that is a match for anything listed on the job description, they will be reluctant to take you on in the role. Therefore, when you answer this really difficult interview question, do make sure you give a weakness, but be smart in your answer. And to help you, I will now give you 3 example weaknesses that will do you no harm in your interview. What's your biggest weakness? Answer option number 1. My biggest weakness is my inability to say no to people. I am a bit of a people pleaser, and I tend to say yes to everything without first considering my capacity to help or take on extra duties. Now, having said that, I am trying to be more mindful in situations like these, and I am genuinely the type of person who wants to continually improve and develop both personally and professionally. What's your biggest weakness? Answer option number 2. Here we go. My biggest weakness is the fact I don't have any leadership experience yet. I've never had the opportunity to lead a project or a task. Now, whilst I don't believe this will hinder my ability to carry out my duties in this role, I would be keen to eventually lead a project if there were opportunities in your company to do so. What's your biggest weakness? Answer option number 3. My biggest weakness, and perhaps something that I get anxious about, is public speaking. I tried to give a presentation once to a small group of people, but I was very nervous. Now, having said that, I do want to improve in this area and gain confidence, so if there ever was the chance in this role to give a talk or a presentation to a group of co-workers, then I would love to give it a try. So the next thing to do if you want to accelerate your learning even further and you want to pass your interview is click that link right now in the top right hand corner of the video, head through to my website passmyinterview.com, and you can download my top 50 interview questions and brilliant top scoring answers, including the ones I have covered today during this tutorial. It's a fantastic resource. It comes as a PDF guide and you can have it within your inbox within 2 minutes from now, and it's guaranteed to put you ahead of the competition at your forthcoming interview. Finally, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's really important because I want to help you not just pass every job interview you ever attend, but also progress throughout your career. Please give the video a like because that tells me you find these tutorials useful, and it also motivates me to create more content for you. And don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video. It's always great to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all the best for passing your interview. Have a great day. In this tutorial, I am going to teach you how to answer the difficult interview question, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Now, if you have a job interview coming up, there is a strong possibility they will ask you this question, and how you answer it could be the difference between a pass or a fail. So if you have a job interview coming up for any role or any organisation, make sure you stay tuned, because I will help you to pass it. And just very quickly, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I want to help you pass your interview. I can only do that if you are subscribed. And don't forget to hit the like button, because that motivates me to create more content for you. So let's jump straight into the presentation, and I will teach you how to answer that question: where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? So here's what I'm going to cover to help you answer that interview question. I will explain why the interviewer is asking you the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? I will explain the 3 things that you really must include in your answer. And I will then give you 2 brilliant example responses that you can use to help you pass your interview. So why is the interviewer asking you the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Well, there's 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is that if you have a plan of what you are going to be doing in your life within the next 5 years, it tells the interviewer that you are far more likely to be a high achiever. So if you are the type of person who plans ahead, you are more likely to get hired. The second reason why the interviewer asks you the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time, is because to recruit the right person for a job takes time, energy, and resources. And if you have plans to move on within the next 5 years, they are less likely to take you on board. So those are the 2 reasons why the interviewer will ask you the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? So there are 3 things that you really must include in your answer to that difficult interview question, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Number 1, tell the interviewer that you still plan to be working for their organisation, either in the same role or having gained advancement to a more senior level. Number 2, tell the interviewer that you plan to have developed both personally and professionally within 5 years' time. And number 3, tell the interviewer that you will be a trusted, reliable and supportive employee who is helping the organisation to thrive and move forward. So those are the 3 things that you have to include in your answer to the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? So let me now give you 2 brilliant example answers to that interview question, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? And you can tell me in the comments section below the video which one you think is the strongest. Answer option number 1, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? I already have a plan in place of where I want to be in the future. In 5 years' time, I still plan to be working for your company, either in the same role or having gained advancement to a higher level. In 5 years' time, I will have participated in numerous team projects and helped the business move forward significantly. Finally, in 5 years' time, I would want to be seen as a trusted, reliable and productive member of your organisation who can be relied upon to deliver results both on time and to the requested standard. So that's my first example answer to that difficult interview question. Let's now take a look at the second answer option. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Here we go. In 5 years' time, I want to still be working for your business. I have set my sights on this role with your company for some time now, and I see my career developing solely with your organisation. In 5 years' time, I would have developed both professionally and personally. I plan to achieve this by completing lots of training development courses and by working on challenging projects that constantly push my skills and qualities. In 5 years' time, I would also want to be seen as someone who could be relied upon to help train up newer members of staff as and when they join the organisation. So there's 2 example answers there. Tell me in the comment section which one you think is the strongest. So there's 2 brilliant example answers to the interview question, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Now, if you want to accelerate your learning further, make sure you click that link right now in the top right hand corner of the video, head through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can download my full set of 30 interview questions and top scoring answers, including the answers I gave within this presentation. It's a brilliant resource and it's going to help you to be the standout candidate, so make sure you check that out. Finally, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's really important because then I can help you to not only pass your interview but also progress throughout your career. And make sure you hit that like button, because that tells me you find these tutorials useful and it motivates me to create more for you. Thank you so much for watching and paying attention, and I wish you all the best for passing your interview. Have a brilliant day. Hi there, my name is Richard from passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to overcome interview nerves. A lot of you have been getting in touch with me on the channel and you are saying, Richard, I have a job interview coming up tomorrow. I am really nervous. How can I perform to the best of my abilities? Well, within this presentation I'm going to give you 5 really important tips that will help bring your nerve levels down considerably and help you to perform to a really high level. So before we get into it, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, because I am on a mission to help as many of you as possible to pass your interviews, and I can only do that if you are subscribed. And please give the video a like, give it a thumbs up, because that motivates me to create more content for you. Let's get straight into it, and I'm going to teach you how to overcome interview nerves. Tip number 1 for overcoming interview nerves is to stop treating it as an interview. Treat it as a meeting between you and a potential employer. Now, the word interview puts the fear into people, and believe it or not, it is you who is increasing your own interview nerves because of what's going on up here. We need to change your mindset, and one way we can do that is to start treating this as a meeting between you and a potential employer. Now, of course, for the rest of this tutorial I will refer to it as an interview, but when you go away after you've stopped watching this tutorial, I want you to start treating it as a meeting, and that will help to calm your nerves. Now, whilst on nerves, of course, you need to have a little bit of nerves, because if you don't, you won't perform to the best of your ability. And also, I've been in interviews before where a candidate has been sat in front of me and they are a little bit too confident. They don't show any nerves whatsoever. And that can come across as a little bit arrogant, overconfident. I want to see somebody who is a little bit nervous, because it tells me that they care. So tip number 1 is start treating it as a meeting between you and a potential employer, and that will bring your nerves down considerably. Tip number 2 for overcoming interview nerves is to make sure you carry out some research into the company you are applying to join. Now, we know that one of the questions you are going to get asked is, tell me what you know about our company. And if you can't answer that question competently and confidently, you will not get hired. And all of these tips are designed to help boost your confidence. We want to decrease your nervousness levels, but we also want to increase your confidence. And the way we can do that is to make sure that you know a little bit about the company that you are applying to join. So we know they're going to say to you, tell me what you know about our company. So what you need to do is, number 1, go on their website, find out about their products and their services. What do they sell? What do they do? And also find out a little bit of historical information about the company. When did they start? Who owns the company and where do they operate from? And number 2, make sure you follow the company on social media. Have a look at their latest social media posts. What have they been posting about on Facebook, on Twitter? And also have a look to see if they have a LinkedIn corporate page. Because then you can say, I follow you on social media, and I noticed recently you've been carrying out the following things. That would tell me that you have an interest in my company and you have also carried out some research. So make sure, tip number 2 for reducing your interview nerves is to carry out some research, because then you can answer that question with confidence. Tip number 3 for overcoming interview nerves, and this is really important. This will help you to stand out from the other candidates. Make sure you download a copy of the job description. Read the job description and have a look at the key requirements of the role. Now, the job description is essentially the blueprint of what the hiring manager or the employer is looking for in the successful candidate. Now, the vast majority of people who attend interviews don't even know what the job description description is, but you're going to be different. And again, this will help to boost your confidence levels. Get a copy of the job description and read it and have a look what they are looking for. Now, more often than not, they will be looking for certain skills such as team working, being able to work under pressure, being able to communicate effectively, and also being able to provide excellent customer service. So if you know what they are looking for, you can talk about the different skills you have that are a match for the job description. And also, be prepared for interview questions that focus on the job description. So if it says on the job description, the successful candidate will be required to deliver customer service to a certain standard, I can guarantee they will ask you the question, tell me about a time when you provided excellent customer service. So downloading that job description enables you, it empowers you to think about the questions they are going to ask you during your interview. Tip number 4 for overcoming interview nerves. This is really important. We know the first interview question they are going to ask you at your interview is, tell me about yourself. So whether you have a face-to-face interview or you have an interview online, a virtual interview, the first question they will say is, tell me about yourself. Now, of course, it makes perfect sense for you to prepare an answer to that first interview question, because that then will give you the confidence for the rest of the interview. If you are stumbling when they say to you, tell me about yourself, this will increase your interview nerves. So my advice is to prepare a really good answer to the question, tell me about yourself, that you know off by heart, and it then sets you up with confidence for the rest of the interview. Now, a great format to follow, a great format to remember when you answer the question, tell me about yourself, is SEAT. S-E-A-T. And you can remember this format because when you go into your interview, you will be sitting in a seat. Remember S-E-A-T. And this gives you the things to talk about. S is for the skills that you have that are relevant to the role. E is for experience, previous work experience that you have that is applicable to the role. Now, if this is your first job, instead of talking about experience, you could talk about educational qualifications. A is achievements. What achievements have you gained in your life so far? And T is the type of person you are. Tell them you are the type of person who's going to come into this role and you are going to make a significant impact. You will act as a positive role model for their company and you're going to do a really good job. Now, if you want to find out a model answer to the interview question, tell me about yourself, click the link right now at the top of this video because I've created a brilliant answer that you are going to want to check out. Tip number 5 for overcoming interview nerves is to make sure that you have got some questions lined up to ask at the end of the interview. Now, this is where a lot of candidates let themselves down. We know that when you get to the end of the interviewer is going to say to you, that's the end of the interview, do you have any questions for us? Now, a lot of candidates say, it's okay, you answered everything for me, I have no questions. That is a mistake because this is your opportunity to further show that you are the right candidate for the job. So we have to ask smart questions. Now, I recommend you ask 3 or 4 questions that put you across in a positive light, and they are also focused on not you, but on the company. So let me now give you 4 really smart questions that you can ask at the end of your interview to impress the hiring manager. Question number 1. What advice would you give to the successful candidate who wants to do a really good job in this position? So that's a really good question because it shows that you are wanting to do really well within the company, but you are asking them for advice. What advice would you give to the successful candidate who wants to do a really good job in the position? That's a smart question to ask. Question number 2 of the questions to ask at the end of your interview. What's the culture like here within this company? So that's a smart question because you are trying to find out what the company's like to work for, and it enables the interviewer or the hiring manager to talk about their company, which is something they should love doing. Question number 3 of smart questions to ask at the end of your interview. What challenges are your company facing right now, and how can I help you overcome them in this role? That's a smart question because you are preparing yourself to be in the position, and every company has challenges, but you are asking what you can do to help overcome them. So it's a very smart question to ask. And question number 4, what would you need me to concentrate on in this role within the first 30 days of starting? Again, you are visualizing yourself in the role and you are getting them to visualize you in the role as well. And you are asking, what do you need me to concentrate on in the role within the first 30 days? So there's 4 really smart questions that you can pick from to ask within your interview. At the end, when they say to you, that's the end of the interview, do you have any questions for us? So there we have it. 5 really good tips to help you overcome interview nerves. And don't forget, being successful at an interview is all about preparation. So it doesn't matter whether you have an interview coming up tomorrow or within a few days, you can still carry out plenty of preparation. Number 1, don't forget, make sure that you start treating it from now on as a meeting. This is a meeting between you and a potential employer. Stop using that word interview because it puts fear into people, which is what it is designed to do. This is a meeting and you are preparing fully for it. Number 2, make sure you carry out some research. Don't forget to go on their website, find out a bit about the company, have a look at their social media pages, follow them on social media, and it gives you something to talk about when they say, tell me what you know about my company. Number 3, make sure you download that job description. This is your ticket to success. Download the job description, read it, and have a look at the essential criteria. What are you required to do in the role? And that will also give you a clue as to the type of questions they're going to ask you in your interview. Number 4, make sure you prepare your answer to the first interview question, tell me about yourself. Remember to use that format, SEAT. The skills and qualities you have, the experience or the educational qualifications, some significant achievements you have gained in your life or career so far, and T, the type of person you are, what you're going to do in the role if they choose to hire you. And then finally, make sure you have some questions prepared at the end of the interview to ask. So don't forget, make sure you subscribe to this channel by clicking the red button below the video, because I am going to help you throughout your career to pass your interviews. I promise you that. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. And if you have an interview coming up, tell me what questions you have in the comments section below, and I will give you some questions, interview questions, more questions to prepare for to help you pass your interview. I've been Richard McMahon, and thank you so much for watching this presentation. I wish you all the best for passing your meeting. Speak to you soon.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
3 words to describe myself. I would say I'm professional, professional, a good team worker and hardworking. Do not use those words when answering the interview question, describe yourself in 3 words, because all other candidates will use those words, and you need to make sure you stand out by using words that are going to resonate positively with the hiring manager. So if you have a job interview coming up soon for any role or any organization, make sure you stay tuned, because I will give you the perfect scripted answer. And just very quickly, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, because then I can help you pass every job interview you ever attend and also progress throughout your career. And please give the video a like, because that tells me you find these tutorials useful. Thank you very much. Let's jump straight into the presentation. So to help you answer the interview question, describe yourself in 3 words, I will cover the following 3 things during this tutorial. Number 1, I will explain why the hiring manager is asking you the tough interview question, describe yourself in 3 words. Because if you understand why the question is being asked, it allows you to give the perfect answer. Number 2, I will give you a list of 12 words you can use to describe yourself in a positive way during your interview, and then all you need to do is choose the 3 words that describe you the best. And then finally, number 3, I will give you 3 examples of top scoring answers in a live job interview, and all you have to do is choose which answer option you think is the strongest. So to begin with, why is the hiring manager asking you the tough interview question, describe yourself in 3 words? Well, they are asking you this question to assess whether you know yourself and how you are going to contribute to their company. Because if you don't know yourself, and more importantly, you can't describe yourself in 3 words, you probably won't be able to add value to their team. Now, whenever you answer the interview question, describe yourself in 3 words, make sure you tell the interviewer how those 3 words you give them will be of benefit to their company in the role that you will occupy. So before I give you those 3 live answers in a job interview to the question, describe yourself in 3 words, let me give you a list of 12 words you can use to describe yourself in an interview that will resonate positively with the hiring manager. Word number 1 is industrious. This is a great one. If you are industrious, you work hard, you find things to do when things are quiet, and you strive to continuously improve. Word number 2 is diligent. Now, a diligent worker is someone who has strong attention to detail skills, someone that can be left alone to do a good job on time and to the right standard, and someone who takes pride in their work. Word number 3 to use when describing yourself is self-motivated. Now, all employers want to take on self-motivated people, because if you are self-motivated, you don't need to be told what to do, you need very little motivation, and you are always enthusiastic about your work. Word number 4 is energetic. Now, energetic people often bring a buzz to the working environment. They are generally positive people who achieve more than the average person. Now, energetic employees often make great salespeople, and they are driven to achieve difficult targets. Word number 5 is resilient. This is a great one. Every team needs resilient people, because if you are resilient, you don't get stressed when under pressure. You are good at solving problems, and you don't give up until you have achieved your objective. Word number 6 is personable. Now, if you are personable, you are good to be around, customers or clients will be drawn to you, and you will always go above and beyond what is required in the workplace. Word number 7 to use when describing yourself in an interview is loyal. Now, loyal is rare in the working environment, but it is one of the most important traits hiring managers look for in new employees. Now, if you are loyal, you will stay working at the company for many years to come. You will be a good role model when dealing with customers or clients, and you will always speak positively about the organization you work for. Word number 8 is data-driven. Now, data-driven people are great in technical job roles. So if there is a requirement in the job you are applying for to use numbers or analyze data to come up with solutions, then you might choose the word data-driven when describing yourself. Word number 9 is cooperative. Now, cooperative people are the type of employees who will support the company when changes are needed. They will also look out for their co-workers, help train up newer members of staff as and when they join the company, and they will always carry out duties outside of their job description. Word number 10 to use when describing yourself in an interview is high achiever. Now, if you are a high achiever and you have a track record of success in previous roles, you might just be the type of person the interviewer is looking for. Now, high achievers always have goals they are working towards, and they often take responsibility for their own professional development. Word number 11 is results driven. I like this one. So results driven people always have a plan of how they are going to achieve their objectives. Now, results driven people never sit back. They are go-getters, and they are the type of employees who a business relies on for continued success. Word number 12, before I give you those 3 brilliant answers in a live job interview, is resourceful. So if you are resourceful, you take care of company supplies and resources, you are not wasteful, and you quickly come up with solutions to problems and issues in the workplace as and when they arise. So there's 12 brilliant words you can use to describe yourself in an interview. Now, some more great words to consider using that will resonate positively with all hiring managers include innovative, compassionate, patient, caring, strategic, positive, adaptable, flexible, skilled, systematic, knowledgeable, expert, and creative. Let me now give you those 3 brilliant answers to that difficult interview question. Describe yourself in 3 words. Please tell me in the comments section below the video which answer option 1, 2 or 3 you think is the strongest.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
The 3 words I would use to describe myself are industrious, diligent and trustworthy. So I'm industrious because I'm hardworking, I take responsibility for everything in my remit, and I always seek ways to quickly overcome challenges as and when they arise. I am diligent, which means I will always work quickly and accurately with minimal supervision. And I'm also trustworthy, which means you can rely on me to do everything I'm supposed to do to the required standard. I will always act professionally whilst communicating with customers and clients, and I will always be a supportive co-worker in my team.
Describe yourself to me in 3 words.
The 3 words I would use to describe myself are resilient, knowledgeable, and adaptable. So I'm resilient because I never get stressed in difficult situations, and I can easily prioritize tasks regardless of how many I have. I am knowledgeable in this industry because I have applicable academic qualifications, and I also have experience in similar job-related roles. Finally, I am adaptable because I am the type of person who will always take on duties outside of my job description, and I will also help out your business at short notice as and when needed. So for example, if you need me to work extra hours or duties, I will always do that, and I will be prepared to cover the work of co-workers who are ever off work sick.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
The 3 words I would use to describe myself are results-driven, trustworthy, and self-motivated. So in my last role, my manager often praised me for the amount of work I got through and how I always came up with innovative ideas to help the company grow and improve. I am naturally a trustworthy person, which means all tasks I am responsible for will always be done on time and to the expected standard, and I will always represent your company positively when communicating with customers and clients. Finally, I am a self-motivated person. This means I always take it upon myself to find extra work to do if things are ever quiet, and I will always seek ways to help your business be more efficient and help you save money too. So there's 3 brilliant example answers to that really challenging interview question. Describe yourself in 3 words. Now, don't forget to tell me in the comments section below the video which answer option 1, 2 or 3 you think is the strongest. Now the next thing to do, if you want to accelerate your learning even further and you want to pass your interview, is click that link right now in the top right hand corner of the video. Head through to my website passmyinterview.com and you can download my full set of 30 brilliant answers to 10 tough interview questions. It's a fantastic resource. You can literally have it in your inbox within 2 minutes from now, and it's guaranteed to put you ahead of the competition at your forthcoming interview. Finally, just before I go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's really important because then I can help you not just pass every job interview you ever attend, but I can also help you progress throughout your career and get the pay you deserve. It's really worthwhile subscribing. Please give the video a like because that tells me you find these tutorials useful, and it also always motivates me to create more content for you. Thank you very much, and don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video. Please make sure you connect with me because it's always great to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you so much for watching and for paying attention, and I wish you all the best for passing your job interview. Have a great day. Hi there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training website passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial I will teach you how to answer the interview question, what are your strengths? So if you have a job interview coming up, they will ask you this question, and how you respond to it could be the difference between a pass or a fail. So within this tutorial I am going to give you the perfect answer to the question, what are your strengths? And just very quickly, if you are new to this channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to help you to pass your interview, and I can only do that if you are subscribed. And please make sure you hit the like button, because that motivates me to create more content for you. Okay, let's get into the tutorial, and I will teach you how to answer the question, what are your strengths? So within the presentation, I'm going to break it up into 3 specific areas. The first area, I will give you 3 really important tips for answering the question, what are your strengths? And I will then give you 10 brilliant strengths that you can use in your job interview. These strengths will resonate positively with the interviewer. And finally, I will give you a brilliant scripted answer to the question, what are your strengths? And within the answer, I will include my 3 favorite strengths to use when responding to this interview question. So let's get straight into those first 3 important tips to help you pass your interview. Tip number 1 when responding to the interview question, what are your strengths, is to make sure you give 3 brilliant strengths. And you should also avoid using strengths such as I'm hardworking, I'm enthusiastic, and I'm professional. You should avoid those, because all the other candidates will be giving them in their response to the question. It's important that you give strengths that demonstrate you are able to add value to their organisation. Tip number 2 when responding to the question, what are your strengths, is to make sure you give unique strengths that make the interviewer sit up and listen. And in a second, I'm going to give you 10 brilliant strengths that you can choose from that are guaranteed to get the attention of the interviewer. Tip number 3 when answering the question, what are your strengths, is to make sure you back up your claims with evidence. Now, anybody can say, I am good at multitasking, that's one of my strengths. But backing it up with evidence is another thing altogether. So whenever you give a strength during a job interview, make sure you tell them an example of where you have demonstrated that strength in a previous job role. So let me now give you 10 brilliant strengths that you can use in a job interview. You can then choose which 3 you are going to use during your response to the question, what are your strengths? Strength number 1 is to say that you are disciplined and focused. Those are brilliant strengths to give in a job interview. So that means that you can be relied upon to complete tasks on time and to the necessary standard. So saying that you are disciplined and highly focused is a really good thing when responding to the question, what are your strengths? Strength number 2 is that you are flexible and versatile. These are brilliant strengths to give in a job interview. And what you mean by this is you are saying that you are prepared to take on duties and responsibilities that are outside of your normal working job description, and that you are available to help out the organisation at short notice whenever required. So if you say in response to the question, what are your strengths, that you are flexible and versatile, that's going to resonate positively with the interviewer. So strength number 3 is one of my favourites, and that is being resourceful. If you say you are resourceful during a job interview, it means that you are an innovative problem solver and you always seek ways to overcome difficult challenges. Strength number 4 is to say that you are a loyal and trustworthy person. If you are loyal and trustworthy, it means that you will always act as a positive role model for their company, and that you can be relied upon to carry out your duties in line with organisational policies and procedures. So being loyal and trustworthy are really good strengths to use when answering the question, what are your strengths? Strength number 5 is to say that you are a collaborative worker. If you say that you are a collaborative worker, it means that you understand the importance of effective teamwork and that you are required to support your co-workers when carrying out difficult team tasks. Strength number 6 is to say that you are commercially aware. This is a brilliant one. If you tell the interviewer you are somebody that is commercially aware, it means that you understand that for their business to achieve its commercial and financial goals, you need to carry out your duties in line with the job description, on time and to the necessary standard. So saying that you are commercially aware is a brilliant strength to give during your job interview. Strength number 7 is to say that you are detail orientated and attentive. So if you say these strengths during your interview, it means that you are the type of person who will always focus on the details and you will carry out your duties to a very high standard. Strength number 8 is to say that you are creative and innovative. And this means that you are the type of person who will help the business find ways to increase sales and to also improve customer service. And it also means that you will think outside of the box when overcoming difficult challenges. So to say that you are creative and innovative is a brilliant strength to use when responding to the question, what are your strengths? Strength number 9 is to say that you are a fast learner and that you will always seek to improve in the role. These are brilliant strengths to use in a job interview. So if you are a fast learner, it means that you are going to learn the role quickly. It will mean that you will require little supervision or monitoring moving forward. And to say that you will always seek to learn and improve means that you are going to take ownership of your own professional development. So they are brilliant strengths to use in a job interview. The fact that you are a fast learner and you will always seek to learn and improve. Now, in a second, I am going to give you an example script, a brilliant script that you can use when responding to the question, what are your strengths? And within that script, I will give you my 3 favorite strengths. But first of all, let me give you the 10th strength to use during a job interview. And that is that you are passionate and committed. If you tell me that you are passionate and committed, it tells me that you love your job and that you are committed to my organisation for the long term. So they are brilliant strengths to use, the fact that you are passionate and committed. So let me now give you a brilliant example script to the interview question, what are your strengths? And within this script, I will give you my 3 favourite strengths that I would use if I were attending a job interview. My strengths include the fact that I am commercially aware. Now this means I will always work hard to help your business grow, and the work I do for you will always be efficient and effective. Other strengths include my collaborative approach to working. Now I strongly believe that a team can achieve brilliant things when they support each other, when they are respectful of everyone's opinions and contributions, and when they are all focused on the same goal. Finally, perhaps my greatest strength is my loyalty and trustworthiness. You can rely on me to always be a positive role model when representing your company, and if you do hire me, I will be committed to the business for many years to come. So that's a brilliant script that you can use when answering the question, what are your strengths? So the next thing to do, if you are serious about passing your job interview, is to click that link right now in the top right hand corner of the video, head through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can download my full set of 21 brilliant answers to tough interview questions. It's a PDF guide and you can literally have it within your inbox within 2 minutes from now, and it's gonna make you the standout candidate, so make sure you check out that link. Finally, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. I really do appreciate your support. And if you are on LinkedIn, don't forget to connect with me on that platform. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video, and it's always great to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you so much for watching and paying attention, and I wish you all the best for passing your interview. Hi there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training website, passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial I will teach you how to answer the very difficult interview question, what's your biggest weakness? So if you have a job interview coming up for any role or any organisation whatsoever, they will ask you this question. But don't worry, I'm going to teach you exactly what to say to pass. And just very quickly, if you are new to this channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe button right now, because I want to help you to pass your interview, and I can only do that if you are subscribed. And please make sure you hit the like button, because that motivates me to create more content for you. Now, to help you answer the tough interview question, what's your biggest weakness, I will cover 4 important things. First and foremost, I will tell you why the interviewer is asking you this question. I will then tell you the weaknesses that you must avoid when responding to the question, what's your biggest weakness? I will then give you 3 really important tips for giving a brilliant answer, and I will then give you 11 great weaknesses that you can use during your job interview. So let's get straight into the presentation, and I will help you to answer the question, what's your biggest weakness? So, why is the interviewer asking you the question, what's your biggest weakness? Well, they are asking you the question for 3 reasons. The first reason is they want to see that you are self-aware. You understand your weaknesses, because if you understand them, then you can take steps to improve. The second reason why they ask you the question, what's your biggest weakness, is because they want to assess whether or not you are an honest person. Now, those people who say, I don't have any weaknesses, are not being honest. We all have weaknesses. So it's really important that you do give one, but that you give one that is not a match for the job description. And finally, they want to hear that you have a plan in place for improving upon your weakness. So there's 3 reasons why the interviewer will ask you the question, what's your biggest weakness? Now, there are 3 weaknesses you should avoid when responding to the question, what's your biggest weakness? The first one is you should never say, my weakness is that I'm not very good at working with people. Because in all job roles, you have to collaborate with other people, and you also have to deal with customers or clients. So never say, my biggest weakness is I am not very good at working with people. The second weakness to avoid is that you should never say, my weakness is I'm not very good at timekeeping. Now, in any job, you have to be a good timekeeper. You have to turn up to work on time, so you have to be punctual, and you also have to be good at completing tasks and projects on time as required by the employer. And the third weakness that you should always avoid is to never say, my weakness is I'm not very good at managing multiple tasks or projects. Because again, in any job role, you have to be able to manage multiple tasks and take on lots of different roles and responsibilities. So make sure when you answer the question, what's your biggest weakness, you avoid those 3 weaknesses at all costs. Now, before I come on to those 11 great weaknesses to give during a job interview, here's 3 really important tips for structuring your answer. Tip number 1, make sure you do give an honest weakness. That's very, very important, because the interviewer will respect you if you are honest about your weaknesses. Tip number 2, never say, I don't have any weaknesses because I'm a perfectionist. Now, a lot of people say that during their job interviews when responding to the question, what's your biggest weakness? But that is a guaranteed way to fail the entire interview. So don't say, I'm a perfectionist, I don't have any weaknesses. And tip number 3, this is really important. At the end of your response, you should tell the interviewer that you are taking steps to improve upon your weakness. So let's now jump into those 11 great weaknesses you can use during your job interview, and you can choose one of them which is most applicable to you. So in front of me, I have 11 great weaknesses that you can use in a job interview. Now, all of these weaknesses are fine to use. So I will give you the weakness, and I will then give you an example answer. So when you find the one that's most applicable to you, make sure you pause the video and take a note of the response that I give. So weakness number 1 is to say, my biggest weakness is the fact that I focus too much on detail when carrying out projects or tasks. So I would answer the question in this way. I am a detail-orientated person, but when a project has a tight deadline, this is not always helpful. I am trying to be more mindful in situations like these, and I am learning to focus more on the end goal of the project or task that I am responsible for. So saying that your weakness is the fact that you focus too much on detail during projects or tasks is a really good one to give. Weakness number 2 is to say that you find it difficult to ask other people for help when needed. That's a really good weakness to consider giving. So I would say, I take great pride in my work, And when I encounter problems, I always try to figure things out for myself. However, I do understand it would be more beneficial to seek advice from other more experienced people in my team, and I am taking steps to improve in this area. So that's another really good weakness, to say that you find it difficult to ask other people for help or guidance when it is needed. Weakness number 3 is to say that your biggest weakness is the fact that you struggle to let go of projects. That's another really good one. So I would say I tend to get so engrossed in projects when I am working on them, and I don't want to let them go. However, I do understand this is not always helpful to my employer's goals, and I am learning to finish a project and then move straight on to the next one. Weakness number 4 is to say that you are not very good at giving people feedback. That's another really good one. So I would say if someone asks me for feedback, I would rather avoid it, as I don't want to hurt their feelings. However, I do appreciate feedback is an important part of self-development, and I have been trying to improve in this area by forcing myself to give people feedback when it is requested. So to say that you are not very good at giving people feedback is another great weakness to consider giving during your job interview. Weakness number 5 on our list of 11 great weaknesses to give in a job interview is to say you find it really hard saying no to people. Again, this is one of my favourite weaknesses. So I would say this has been a problem of mine because I always say yes to everything, even if I don't have the capacity to do so. Now, in the past, I have sometimes become overwhelmed by taking on too many responsibilities. Now, before I say yes to things, I now take my time to assess my own workload to make sure I do have the capacity to commit to the extra work responsibilities. So saying that you find it hard to say no to people, you always say yes, and you sometimes become overwhelmed is another great weakness to consider giving during your job interview. Weakness number 6 is to say that you lack experience in a certain area. So I would say I currently lack experience in taking the lead on projects, but this is something I am keen to improve on. Now, if I am to reach my full potential, this is an area I need to gain experience in, and I am keen to improve in this particular area. So to say that you lack experience in a certain area is a really safe weakness to give during a job interview. Weakness number 7 is to say that you are sometimes too sensitive. This is a really good weakness to consider giving. So I would say I am sometimes too sensitive, and in the past I would take criticism personally. However, I do understand that for me to continually improve professionally, I need to view other people's comments as constructive and productive. So I am learning to be more mindful in situations such as these when people are simply trying to help me improve and develop. So that's a really good weakness to consider giving in your job interview. Weakness number 8 is to say that you can sometimes be too judgmental of other people. So that's a really good, honest weakness to give. So I would say, in my last role, I would automatically judge people if they were either late finishing a project or if their standard of work was not up to scratch. However, I have been trying to improve in this area, and I no longer jump to conclusions relating to other people's performance. Instead, I try to offer my help or support so they can improve, which ultimately serves to help the team move forward. So that's another really good weakness to give when responding to the question, what's your biggest weakness? Weakness number 9, and this is a really good one, is to say that you don't yet have any leadership experience. And this is a really good weakness to give if you are a fresher or a first-time job applicant. So I would be saying, I currently have no leadership experience, but this is something I really want to improve on. If you asked me now to take the lead on something, I wouldn't feel confident in doing so. However, to improve in this area, I would seek to observe how managers and team leaders tackle projects and tasks, so I can then learn how to do it myself when the opportunity presents itself. So that's a really strong weakness to give in a job interview. Weakness number 10 is to say that you get stressed if a project or task ends up running over the deadline. So I would say my weakness is the fact that I sometimes get stressed out if I think a project is going to run over its deadline. This is simply because I take pride in my work and I genuinely don't want to let my employer down. However, I am learning to remain calm in difficult situations such as these and to focus on what I can do to help get the project finished on time and to the necessary standard. So that's another really good, strong weakness to give when answering the question, what's your biggest weakness? Weakness number 11 is to say that you are not very good at presenting to large groups of people. This is a really safe weakness to give when answering the question, what's your biggest weakness? So I would be saying something like, my weakness is my fear of public speaking. I would genuinely love to have the confidence to stand up in front of a group of people and give a talk. However, I am trying to improve in this area, and I recently purchased a book from Amazon on how to improve confidence when public speaking. So that's a really good weakness to consider giving in your job interview. So there's 11 great weaknesses to consider giving in your job interview. Tell me in the comments section below the video which one you are going to choose for your job interview. Now, if you want to accelerate your learning even further and you want to learn how to answer all of the difficult interview questions that are likely to come up during your job interview, click that link right now in the top right hand corner of the video. Head through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can download my full set of 30 brilliant answers to difficult interview questions. It's a great resource. You will have it within your inbox literally within 2 minutes from now, and it's going to help you to be the standout candidate during your interview. Finally, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I want to help you to pass your interview, and I can only do that if you are subscribed. Make sure you hit that like button, because that tells me you find the content useful and it motivates me to create more content for you. And finally, don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video, and it's always good to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and I wish you all the best for passing your job interview.
Tell me, Richard, why should we hire you?
You should hire me because I am the best person for the job, I'm a hard worker, and I'm also a very good team worker. Please do not use that answer when responding to the really difficult interview question, why should we hire you? And don't use this answer either. You should hire me because you're hiring, I'm looking for work, and I'm basically a great person to be around. So there's 2 really poor answers to that tricky interview question, why should we hire you? But how do you answer it without failing your job interview? Well, if you have an interview coming up soon for any role or company, make sure you stay tuned, because I'm going to give you the perfect scripted answer. And just very quickly, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's really important, because then I can help you pass every job interview you ever attend. And please give the video a like. I really appreciate your support. It also tells me that you find these tutorials useful. Thank you very much. Let's jump straight into the presentation. So to help you pass your job interview, I will cover the following 3 things during this tutorial. Number 1, I will explain why the hiring manager is asking you the question, why should we hire you? Because if you know why the question is being asked, it enables you to give a top scoring answer. Number 2, I will then tell you the secret to answering the question, why should we hire you, which is guaranteed to impress the hiring manager. And then finally, number 3, I will give you 3 outstanding example answers in a live job interview, and all you have to do is choose which answer option you think is the strongest. So to begin with, why is the hiring manager asking you the tough interview question, why should we hire you? Well, they are asking you this question because they want to determine which candidate is going to give them the best return on their investment. That is why it is so important to avoid vague answers that have no substance, such as, you should hire me because I am a good team worker. Instead, give reasons that prove you can genuinely add value in the role and help their business or organization move forward, improve, and grow. So let me now tell you the secret to answering the difficult interview question, why should we hire you, that is guaranteed to impress the hiring manager. So the secret to answering the tough interview question, why should we hire you, is to make sure you give not just 1 reason, but 3 reasons why they should take you on in the role. Now, all the other candidates will give just 1 reason reason why they should hire them, but you are going to be different. Now, giving the hiring manager 3 great reasons why they should hire you really helps put you at the forefront of their mind when they finally decide which one candidate is going to get the job. Oh, and another great tip is to make sure one of the reasons you give for why they should hire you is either going to help their company increase sales, improve customer service standards, or save money. So let me now give you 3 outstanding example answers in a live job interview to the interview question, why should we hire you? Please tell me in the comments section below the video which answer option 1, 2, or 3 you think is the strongest.
Why should we hire you?
You should hire me for 3 reasons. The first reason is that my skills, qualities, and experience are a strong match for the job description, which means I am ready-made for this position. So you won't have to spend your valuable time training me up, and I can quickly add value in the team. The second reason why you should hire me is because I am commercially aware. I will always work hard to help you increase sales, whilst at the same time helping you to save money by being frugal with company resources and supplies. Finally, the third reason why you should hire me is because I always take ownership of my professional development. I will always improve and grow in the role so that you see a sustained and positive return on your investment over the coming years.
Okay, Richard, why should we hire you?
You should hire me because I already have a 30, 60, and 90-day plan in place of what I will do in this role. This means you can hire me with the peace of mind that I will contribute positively to the team, and I will always set myself goals that are focused on helping you achieve your commercial objectives. You should also hire me because I am an excellent communicator, and I will always be a positive role model for the company when dealing with customers and clients. Finally, you should hire me because I will always go above and beyond what is normally expected in the role. I will happily carry out duties outside of my job description, and I will be available at short notice to help out your business as and when required.
Why should we hire you?
You should hire me because I already have lots of relevant experience in this industry, so I can come into the role and have an immediate and positive impact. You should also hire me because my passion and enthusiasm for this type of work means I will get more done than the average person. Finally, you should hire me because I have a track record of success in previous roles. So for example, in my last job, I identified ways to help the company increase sales by targeting new customers through social media advertising. This means everything I do in the role will be geared towards helping your business grow, improve, and become a market leader. So there's 3 brilliant example answers to that really challenging interview question, why should we hire you? Don't forget to tell me in the comments section which answer option you think is the strongest. So the next thing to do, if you want to accelerate your learning even further and you want to make sure you are the standout candidate at your job interview, is click that link right now in the top right hand corner of the video, head through to my website passmyinterview.com, and you can download my full set of 50 brilliant, outstanding answers to difficult interview questions. It's a fantastic resource and you can have it in your inbox within 2 minutes from now. And just before I go, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's really important. Literally thousands of you are passing your job interviews and I can only help you if you are subscribed. Please make sure you give the video a like because that tells me that you find these tutorials useful and it also motivates me to create more content for you. Thank you very much. And don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video, and it's always great to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting my channel, and I wish you all the best for passing your interview. Have a great day.
Welcome to the interview, Richard. Can you start off and tell me about yourself?
Yes, well, my name's Richard. I'm 35 years old. I live in England and I'm a good team worker, professional, and I really think I could do a great job for your company. Please do not use that answer when introducing yourself right at the very start of your job interview. Now, a lot of you have been reaching out to me in the comments below the videos, and you have been asking me to explain the difference between introduce yourself and tell me about yourself. Now, there is a difference between these two questions, and it's really important to understand what that difference is before you attend your interview. So right at the very start of your job interview, the hiring manager will either say, introduce yourself, or tell me about yourself. And your answer to whichever question they ask you is so important for creating a positive first impression. So if you have a job interview coming up soon for any role or any company, make sure you stay tuned, because I promise to help you be the standout candidate. And just very quickly, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I can then help you pass every job interview you ever attend and also negotiate a salary. And please give the video a like, because that tells me you find these tutorials useful. Thank you very much. Let's jump straight into the presentation. So to help you pass your job interview at the first attempt, I will cover the following 4 things during this tutorial. Number 1, I will explain the difference between the interview questions, introduce yourself and tell me about yourself. I will then tell you what to include in your answer to each interview question, and I will also give you a very easy structure to remember for each one. Number 3, I will then give you a brilliant example answer to introduce yourself and tell me about yourself in a live job interview. And then finally, number 4, I will tell you where you can instantly download the answers. So to begin with, what is the difference between the interview questions, tell me about yourself, and introduce yourself? Well, the main difference is the fact that tell me about yourself is more in-depth, and it covers things such as the skills and qualities you have, any previous work experience gained, academic and educational qualifications, and what you will do in the role if they hire you. The introduce yourself interview question, on the other hand, is a brief introduction of who you are, the words you would use to describe yourself, and the key strengths you possess that will be of benefit in the workplace. So let me now tell you what to include in your answer to the interview questions, tell me about yourself and introduce yourself, and I will then give you a brilliant example answer for each question in a live interview. So if the interviewer says to you at the start of your job interview, tell me about yourself, my advice is to use the SEAT format to structure your answer. S-E-A-T. Now, SEAT stands for the skills you have that match the job description, the experience and or educational qualifications you have, any previous significant achievements you have gained in your life so far, and also the type of person you will be whilst working for their company. So let me now give you a brilliant example answer in a live interview to the question, tell me about yourself, and we will then move on to the introduce yourself question.
Tell me about yourself.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be interviewed for this position today with your company. I already have the skills and qualities to match the job description. I am industrious, hardworking, an excellent team worker and collaborator, and I can easily prioritize tasks to ensure my employer's goals are always achieved. I have experience working on time-sensitive projects, dealing with difficult challenges, and communicating with customers and clients to help resolve any issues they have and meet their needs. I have a track record of achievement. For example, in my last role, I helped the company increase sales by recommending we should advertise our products and services on social media. If you hire me, I will be the type of person who will always go above and beyond what is expected, and I will willingly carry out duties that are outside of my job description. So that's a brilliant example answer in a live job interview to the question, tell me about yourself, that uses the SEAT format, S-E-A-T. Skills, educational qualifications and experience, any achievements you have gained in your life, and the type of person you are. Let me quickly give you that script and we will then move on to the question, introduce yourself. Here we go. Tell me about yourself. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be interviewed for this position with your company today. I already have the skills and qualities to match the job description. I am industrious, hardworking, an excellent team worker and collaborator, and I can easily prioritize tasks to ensure my employer's goals are always achieved. I have experience working on time-sensitive projects, dealing with difficult challenges, and communicating with customers and clients. I have a track record of achievement. For example, in my last position, I helped the company increase sales by recommending we should advertise our products and services on social media. If you hire me, I will be the type of person who will always go above and beyond what is expected, and I will willingly carry out duties outside of my job description. Now, in a second, I will give you a brilliant structure to use and answer to the question, introduce yourself. But when you're ready, you can click that link in the top right-hand corner of the video, head through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can instantly download my full set of 50 brilliant answers to difficult interview questions. Okay, let's now move on to the introduce yourself interview question. So if the interviewer asks you to introduce yourself at the very start of your interview, use the BEAT format, B-E-A-T. So B stands for your best 3 qualities. E stands for educational background. A stands for the activities and interests you have outside of work. And T stands for the one area of talent you have that will be of benefit to their company. So let me now give you a brilliant example response to the introduce yourself interview question in a live job interview, and I will then give you the script.
Welcome to the interview, Richard. Can you start off and introduce yourself?
Thank you. My name is Richard McMahon, and my best qualities include my diligent way of working, my resourcefulness during difficult challenges, and my loyalty to others, especially my employer. I graduated from college with useful educational qualifications in mathematics, English, and computer science. Outside of work, I like to keep myself fit and active. I visit the gym several times a week, which helps to improve my concentration levels whilst I am at work, and it also increases positivity. I also like reading non-fiction books, which helps to develop my skills and knowledge. Now, one of my main talents, which I think will be of benefit to your company, is the fact I am very good with people, particularly customers, and I have the skill of asking them the right questions to assess their needs and then provide exceptional service, which helps to increase sales and retains customer loyalty. So that's a brilliant example response in a live interview to that question, introduce yourself, that uses the BEAT format, B-E-A-T. Let me now give you the script. Introduce yourself. Here we go. Thank you. My name is Richard McMahon, and my best qualities include my diligent way of working, my resourcefulness during difficult challenges, and my loyalty to others, including my employer. I graduated from college with useful educational qualifications in English language, computer science, and mathematics. Outside of work, I like to keep myself fit and active. I visit the gym several times a week, which helps my concentration levels and increases positivity. I also like reading non-fiction books, which helps to develop my skills and knowledge. One of my main talents, which I think will be of benefit to your company, is the fact I am very good with people, particularly customers, and I have a skill of asking the right questions to assess a customer's needs and then provide exceptional service, which helps increase sales and retains customer loyalty. Okay, so there's 2 brilliant responses to the tell me about yourself interview question and introduce yourself. Don't forget, it's really important that you give powerful answers to those questions to help you beat the competition and be the standout candidate. Now, the next thing to do, if you want to accelerate your learning even further, is click that link right now in the top right-hand corner of the video. Head through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can instantly download my full set of 50 brilliant answers to difficult interview questions. It's a fantastic resource and it's guaranteed to put you ahead of the competition at your forthcoming interview. Finally, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Literally thousands and thousands of you are passing your job interviews, and I can only help you if you are subscribed. Please give the video a like, because that tells me you find these tutorials useful, and it also motivates me to create more content for you. Thank you very much. And don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video, and it's always a pleasure and an honor to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting my channel, and I wish you all the best for passing your job interview. Have a great day. Hello there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training website, passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial, I'm going to give you my top 10 interview questions and answers. So if you have a job interview coming up soon for any role or company, make sure you stay tuned, because I promise to help you be successful. Now, this is what I'm going to cover during this tutorial to help you. Number one, I will give you my top 10 interview questions that I strongly recommend you prepare for. These questions are coming up all the time during job interviews, and you need to make sure you have solid answers prepared. Number two, I will give you several important tips for answering each of the interview questions. I will then give you a brilliant example top scoring answer to all 10 interview questions to help you be the standout candidate. And I will then tell you where you can download these slides, the answers, and further resources. And just very quickly, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, because then I can help you not just pass your job interview, I can help you to negotiate a salary and progress throughout your career. And please give the video a like. That tells me you find these tutorials useful, and it motivates me to create more content for you. Thank you very much indeed. Now, the first of our 10 interview questions is, tell me about yourself. This question will come up right at the very start of your job interview. Let me give you two important tips for answering it, and I will then give you the perfect example answer. Tip number one, talk about the skills and qualities you have that are a match for the role you have applied for and the accompanying job description. And tip number two, talk about what you did in your last role to help your employer succeed. Now, this proves you have a track record of success. So here's my example answer to help you. Take notes. Here we go. Tell me about yourself. I would describe myself as a diligent, hardworking, and supportive person who always takes ownership of difficult work challenges whenever they occur. I've worked in several positions where I gained essential workplace skills, including how to communicate effectively, how to provide exceptional service to customers, and the importance of supporting my co-workers in their duties. In my last job, I was praised by my manager for my willingness to carry out duties outside of my job description, my desire to learn new skills, and the manner in which I would always help train up new members of staff whenever they joined the company. That's a fantastic answer, which is about 1 minute in length. I recommend your answer to the tell me about yourself interview question is 60 seconds in length. That's a fantastic answer. Let's move on to the next question. The second question out of our top 10 interview questions and answers, and that is, why did you leave your last job? Tip number one, do not be negative in any way about your previous employer. If you are negative, you will probably not get hired. Instead, talk about how you wanted to further your career and work for a company where your skills would be put to good use. So here's my example top scoring answer to assist you. Why did you leave your last job? Here we go. I left my last job because I wanted to learn new skills. I wanted to work alongside ambitious and forward-thinking people. And I wanted to work for a company that strived to be the market leader. Now, my last company was great, and we achieved many positive things whilst I was there, but I decided to leave in order to further my career in a new and exciting role where my skills, knowledge and experience would be put to good use. That is a really good answer. It's a smart answer to that common but difficult interview question. Why did you leave your last job? Now, don't go anywhere, because I still have 8 more questions and answers to give you. But when you're ready, click that link in the top right-hand corner of the video. Head through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can download these slides, all 10 questions and answers, and another 24 super answers to tough interview questions. Here's the next question for you. Question number 3. Tell me about your past experience. This is a tough one. Tip number 1, this question comes up all the time during job interviews, so make sure you prepare an answer to it. Tip number 2, try to match your past experience with the essential criteria that is listed on the job description. Now, the most common experience needed in all job roles is teamwork, communicating with customers, multitasking, working under pressure, and prioritizing and organizing tasks. Here's my example answer to assist you. Tell me about your past experience. Here we go. I have experience in a variety of different areas. I have experience liaising with customers, both face-to-face and on the telephone, dealing with customer queries in a timely manner, and also resolving customer complaints to achieve a positive outcome. I have experience in working on challenging, time-sensitive projects that had limited resources, and I also have experience helping my employer grow their sales. In my last role, I suggested we should upgrade the company website because it was outdated and not easy to navigate. Now, my manager agreed this was a great idea, and this change helped generate more customers for the business. Finally, I have experience in multitasking. Whenever a member of staff went off sick, I would always volunteer to carry out their duties in addition to my own. This means I can easily prioritize tasks and work under pressure to meet the needs of a team. That's a powerful answer, another brilliant answer that's going to put you ahead of the competition at your forthcoming interview. Question number 4 out of our top 10 interview questions and answers is, tell me about your most challenging experience at your current job. This is a tricky one. My tip is, think of a situation where you had to work under pressure, complete a task under strict time conditions with limited resources, or where you had to build a better relationship with a co-worker who was being difficult. Here's my example answer to assist you. Tell me about your most challenging experience at your current job. My most challenging experience was working with a co-worker who was reluctant to help me or be supportive during team projects. Now, when I joined the company, I was asked to work with him, but I found him abrupt, unhelpful, and difficult for many weeks. However, being a determined person, I decided to try a different way to build a connection with him so as to improve the working relationship. Now, I found out that we both had an interest in a football team, and I had a spare ticket for a game, so I invited him along. Now, during the game, we chatted and got on very well. Now, from that day onwards, he was much more responsive during project work, and we actually ended up becoming great work colleagues and friends outside of work. Now, by thinking outside the box, I was able to find a way to improve the working relationship, which improved our productivity levels and the quality of work we produced for the team. So that's a brilliant example answer that will help you pass your job interview. Let's now move on to question 5 out of our top 10 interview questions and answers. And the question is, tell me about a situation where you went above and beyond what was expected in your previous role. Tip number 1. If you have past experience of going above and beyond for an employer, you are more likely to get hired. Tip 2. Examples of going above and beyond include staying behind late after work to complete an urgent task, covering the duties of a co-worker who's off sick, or going out of your way to provide exceptional customer service that's not normally expected. So here's my top scoring example answer to help you. Tell me about a situation where you went above and beyond what was expected in your previous role. In my last job, it was late on a Friday afternoon. My manager came into the office and he asked for a volunteer to stay behind late to put together a PowerPoint presentation based on the last 12 months company sales, which he needed for an important meeting first thing Monday morning. Now, although I had plans, I was competent with PowerPoint and I had a good working knowledge of the sales figures. So I agreed to cancel my plans that evening and help out my manager. I stayed behind late for 3 hours and got the work done before sending my manager the finished presentation for him to use. That's a great example answer of where you went above and beyond what was expected in your previous role. It's a great example response. Question number 6 out of our top 10 interview questions and answers is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Now, my tip is the best way to answer this question is to talk about where you will be in 5 years and what you will do in between that time. Tip 2, all employers want to hire people who will still be at their company in 5 years, so consider this in your response. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? My plan is to still be working for you in 5 years' time and even longer after that. In 5 years, I will either still be doing the same job and be seen as a productive, reliable and high-performing member of the company, or I will have gained promotion to a higher level. Either way, my skills and knowledge will have developed considerably and I will be seen as the go-to expert in my area of specialism. That's the perfect answer to that common question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Question 7 out of our top 10 interview questions and answers is, what will you do if you don't get this job? Tip number 1, this is a really tough but common interview question that is assessing how positive you are about failure. Tip 2, make sure you respect their decision and then take steps to improve before reapplying when the same or a similar job is advertised in the future. Here's my example answer to help you. What will you do if you don't get this job? If I don't get this job, I will be disappointed. However, I will respect your decision and ask for feedback on how I can improve to make myself more appealing to the company. I will then reapply when a similar job is advertised. That's a short, smart and confident answer to that difficult interview question that will help you be the standout candidate. Question 8. Tell me about a time when you challenged someone at work. This is a tricky one. Tip number 1, challenging someone at work in a calm and professional manner demonstrates confidence. That's why the question is being asked. Tip number 2, give an example where you challenged a decision when you thought there was a better way of working, or where you challenged someone's behavior that went against company policy. Let me give you my example answer. Tell me about a time when you challenged someone at work. Here we go. In my last role, I overheard someone being rude and disrespectful to another person in the canteen. Now, although they meant it as a joke, I didn't like it, and I could tell the person the comments were aimed at were upset. I spoke up immediately, and I told them not to use that language whilst working for this company. I also suggested they should apologise to the person for their inappropriate behaviour. Now, afterwards, I checked the person the comments were aimed at were okay, and I then spoke to the offending person in private to explain why their comments were not acceptable. They apologised and insisted they would never do it again. That's a great answer, because someone is using inappropriate behaviour that goes against the company policy. You're not ignoring it. You are standing up and you are challenging them professionally, and you are also educating them because you are telling them why their comments are not acceptable. It's a great answer. Question 9 out of our top 10 interview questions and answers is, how do you handle negative feedback? Wow, this is a tricky one. So this question assesses your maturity when receiving negative feedback or constructive criticism. In your answer, talk about how you use negative feedback to your advantage in order to grow, improve and develop personally and professionally. Here's my example answer. How do you handle negative feedback? I am always open to any type of feedback because I believe it helps me to improve. If I am open to learning from others and exploring different ways of working, it means I will always be valuable to my employer and I will be able to help them achieve their goals. Therefore, I will listen to the feedback, thank the person for their comments, evaluate what they have said, and consider using it to help me improve, develop, and grow both personally and professionally. That's a cracking answer that will put you across as a smart and professional employee for their company. Now, before I give you the last question, question number 10, don't forget, if you want to download these slides and in total my 24 super answers to tough interview questions, you can click that link in the top right hand corner of the video. Here's question 10. So question 10 out of our top 10 interview questions and answers is, what improvements have you made at your current company? If you have a track record of success in previous roles, your chances of getting hired will literally skyrocket. Tip 2, give several examples of where you either helped a company grow, improve service standards, or save money. Here's my example response. What improvements have you made at your current company? I have made several improvements. One of the improvements was in respect of finding a new office supplies company that was more cost effective. I felt our office supplies were too expensive, so I found an alternative supplier that had lower minimum order quantities and cheaper delivery costs. This change saved the company more than $2,000 a year. Another improvement was suggesting to my manager that we should start asking customers for feedback following every purchase. Now, my manager agreed this was a good idea, and the feedback we gathered from customers enabled us to learn more about what they wanted from our service and the type of products they needed. That's a great answer. You are giving several examples of where you have made improvements at your current company. So don't forget, please click the link in the top right hand corner of the video right now, head straight through to my website passmyinterview.com, and you can download all of these slides so you get those 10 interview questions and answers, and in addition to that you get another 24 super responses to tough interview questions. So in total you're getting 34 brilliant interview questions and answers. It's a great resource. Make sure you check that out because it will put you ahead of the competition at your job interview. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Literally thousands and thousands of you are passing your job interviews. I am serious, thousands of you. I can only help you if you are subscribed. By subscribing, I can help you not just pass every job interview, I can help you to negotiate a salary and progress throughout your career. Please give the video a like. A lot of time and effort goes into making these videos. They are all unique answers. I spend literally hours and hours creating each video. All I ask is that you give the video a like because that motivates me to create more for you. Thank you very much. Oh, and don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video. And it's always a pleasure and an honor to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you so much for watching and for paying attention, and I wish you all the best. For passing your interview, have a great day. Hello there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training website, passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial, I am going to give you my top 20 common interview questions and answers. Now, if you have a job interview coming up soon for any role or organisation, I strongly recommend you watch this tutorial from start to finish because it will help you not only pass your interview but also be the standout candidate. These are the most common interview questions asked, and it's really important that you prepare answers to them. So this tutorial is going to make a massive difference to your preparation. And just very quickly, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Literally thousands and thousands of you are passing your job interviews, and I can only help you if you are subscribed. And please also give the video a like because that tells me you find these tutorials useful and it motivates me to create more content for you. Thank you very much. Okay, so what I'm going to do during this tutorial is give you my top 20 common interview questions. I will give you 2 really important tips for answering each question, and I will then give you a brilliant top scoring answer. So the first common interview question I want you to prepare for is tell me about yourself. Tip number 1. So this is going to be the first question you will need to answer at your job interview. Make sure you keep it positive, focused on the skills and qualities you have, and don't forget to demonstrate good manners in your response. First impressions are absolutely crucial for helping you to pass your job interview. Now, tip number 2, this is a great tip. A brilliant structure to use for answering the question, tell me about yourself, is SEAT, S-E-A-T. So S stands for the skills you have that are relevant to the role. E is the experience you can bring to the position. Now, if this is your first ever job interview, talk about your educational qualifications. A is any significant achievements you have gained in your life to date. And T is the type of person you are and what you will do for their company in the position if they hire you. So here's my top scoring example answer to help you. Tell me about yourself. Here we go. Thank you for inviting me to be interviewed for this position. I believe I have the qualities, knowledge and experience to make a difference to your company in this role. I have various skills that match the job description, including excellent communication capabilities, a fast pace of working, the ability to solve difficult problems, and the creativeness to come up with new ideas to help your company grow. I have a track record of achievement. For example, in my last role, 5 new people joined the company and I volunteered to train them all up to be productive members of the team. I also helped the company achieve record sales by providing outstanding customer service. Now, I am the type of person who will always add value to your company because I am passionate, I take ownership of my professional development, and I will always embrace change with a positive mindset. That is a brilliant answer to that common interview question, tell me about yourself. Now, you can either pause the video if you want to and write down the questions and answers as we work through them together, or if you wait, I will soon tell you where you can download my full set of 20 common interview questions and top scoring answers. Here's the next question I recommend you prepare for. Why do you want this job? Tip number 1. Now, you are being asked this common interview question because the hiring manager wants to hear you have researched their company and you plan to stay there for the long term. Tip number 2, make sure you use positive words and phrases in your answer and reference that you want to work in a productive, supportive and inclusive environment. So here's a brilliant top scoring answer to assist you. Why do you want this job? Here we go. I want this job because I am seeking a positive, supportive and inclusive work environment where everyone is striving to achieve the same objectives. I am passionate about this type of work and my qualifications and skills are aligned with the job description. I studied your company before applying for the position and your workplace culture and values are strongly aligned with my own. I will feel proud working for your company and I can see myself building a long and successful career here. So that's a great positive answer that will help you be the standout candidate. Now, don't go anywhere because I still have 18 more questions and answers to give you. But when you are ready, you can click that link in the top right-hand corner of the video, head straight through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can instantly download my full set of 20 common interview questions and top scoring answers. So basically you get these slides, you get all of the answers, and I've also included within that pack the 2 tips for each question. Here's the next common interview question I really want you to prepare for. That is, what are your strengths? Sometimes the question will be posed as, what are your greatest strengths? Either way, here's my 2 tips. Tip number 1. Now, the easiest and most effective way to answer this common interview question is to align your strengths with those listed on the job description. Now, the job description is the blueprint for the role that has been created by the employer, so it makes sense to read it before your interview. Tip number 2, the most appealing strengths in the workplace are communication and interpersonal skills, which is basically how you deal with people, problem-solving capabilities, teamwork and collaborative working, and taking responsibility for your ongoing professional development. So here's a brilliant example answer to that common interview question. What are your strengths to help you pass your interview? What are your strengths? My strengths are aligned with the job description. I am an excellent communicator in writing, in person, and whilst dealing with customers. I am a good listener, and I can be relied upon to complete tasks on time and to the expected standard. Other strengths are the fact that I take ownership of problems and challenges. So, for example, in my last role, there was a problem with the company website. So I found an online freelancer who managed to rectify the issue within the hour. Now, finally, one of my key strengths is my creative flair. In my last role, I suggested we should start promoting company products and services on social media, which helped to increase sales. That's a brilliant answer to that difficult interview question, what are your strengths? And you can see that all of these answers are going to help you easily pass your interview. Here's the next common interview question. What's your biggest weakness? Now, tip number 1, this is one of the hardest interview questions to answer. Do not give a weakness that is a match for any of the essential criteria listed in the job description. Tip number 2, in your answer, give an honest weakness, but tell the hiring manager you are aware of it and you are taking steps moving forward to improve. So here's my example answer to assist you. What's your biggest weakness? Here we go. My biggest weakness is my inability to say no to people. I am always the first person to say yes whenever someone asks for a volunteer to do additional work. However, moving forward, I need to make sure I assess my capacity to take on the extra responsibilities so as to not hinder the progress of my own work. That's a really good answer. It's a short answer, but it's very, very positive. You are aware of your weakness and you are taking steps to improve. Now, if you don't like that weakness, another good one is to say that your weakness is the fact that you are not yet very good at public speaking. However, you do want to be good at public speaking, so if there are any opportunities in their organisation to give talks or presentations to groups of people, you would love to give it a try. So there's 2 weaknesses there for you to choose from. Here's the next question. Why do you want to leave your job? Tip number 1, do not be negative in any way about your former employer, because if you are negative, you probably won't get hired. Tip number 2, good reasons to leave a job include wanting a change of career and seeking a new and fresh challenge with a forward-thinking company where your skills and qualities will be put to good use. Here's my example answer to assist you. Why do you want to leave your job? Here's my answer to this common interview question. I want to leave my job for the simple reason that I am ready for a fresh challenge in a new working environment where my skills, qualities and experience will be put to good use for a forward-thinking company. Now, my employer has been great, very supportive, and we achieved lots of positive things whilst I have been there. However, now is the time for me to leave and take my career to the next level, which I hope will be with your company. That's a great answer. You can see how the positivity shines through on all of these answers. Here's the next question. This is a difficult common interview question. What are your short and long-term goals? Tip number 1, one of your short-term goals could be to land a job with their company and then quickly learn everything you need to know about the role, how your team operates, and the company's policies and procedures. Tip number 2, one of your long-term goals could be to either gain promotion with their company or gain qualifications or skills in a niche area that means you will then be the go-to expert for an area of specialism within their company. And it's also okay to say that one of your long-term goals is a personal goal. For example, you might be saving up for a deposit to buy your first house, and you know the only way you will achieve that goal is if you work hard and impress your employer. So here's my example answer. What are your short and long-term goals? My short-term goals include, first of all, getting a job with your company and then quickly learning the role, getting to know my team and becoming a productive and reliable member of the organisation. One of my long-term goals is to gain leadership experience, preferably within your company, because one day I hope to become a team leader or a manager, but I know I will only achieve that goal if I work hard, gain experience and impress my employer. Another one of my long-term goals is to buy my first house. Now again, this will only happen if I am successful at work and I gain long-term employment with the same company. That's a great answer because it shows you have lots of goals and it means that you are moving forward and working towards them, and you know that you will only achieve them if you become a competent and productive employee. Here's the next difficult common interview question. Describe yourself in 3 words. Wow, which 3 words should you choose? Well, tip number 1, make sure you choose 3 words that make you unique and stand out from the competition. Now, most candidates will use the words professional, reliable, and a great team worker. Now, these are okay, but they are not standout words. Tip number 2, once you have given your 3 words, explain to the interviewer why they will be of benefit to their company. Here's my example answer to help you. Common interview question, describe yourself in 3 words. Here we go. I would describe myself as industrious, commercially driven, and flexible. Being industrious means I will always work hard, go above and beyond what is expected of me, and also be resilient in the face of difficult challenges. I am commercially driven, which means I understand that your business needs to be profitable, and I must treat customers and clients well to ensure they come back to the business time and time again in the future. Finally, because I am flexible, I will willingly carry out duties when needed outside of my job description. Again, you can see how this answer is really going to help you pass your job interview. Don't forget, at any point, if you want to download my top 20 common interview questions and answers guide, click the link in the top right-hand corner of the video. Here's the next question. We're making fantastic progress. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Tip number 1, if you say in your answer to this common interview question that you plan to have moved on to a new company in 5 years' time, you probably won't get hired. It takes time, effort and resources to hire someone for a job, so they want to be sure they will see a long-term return on their investment if they choose you over the other candidates. Tip number 2, a great thing to include in your response is to say you will still be working for their company, but that you will be the go-to expert in an area of specialism. So here is my top scoring example answer to assist you. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? In 5 years' time, I still plan to be working for your company, either in this role or having gained advancement to a more senior level. I will have developed considerably, undertaken internal training courses and be seen as a go-to expert for my area of specialism. In 5 years from now, I will also be seen as someone who will help support and train new members of staff as and when they join the organisation. That's another cracking answer to that common but difficult interview question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Here's the next question. What can you bring to the company? Now, tip number 1, my advice is to write down a list of things you can bring to their company. Think about the industry they operate in, and if you can help them improve, grow or develop in any way, mention this in your answer. Tip 2, it costs an employer money each month to hire you by way of a salary. So if you can demonstrate they will see a positive return on their investment, you are far more likely to beat the competition and get hired. Here's my example answer to this common interview question. What can you bring to the company? I can bring several things to your company. I can bring positivity, which will rub off onto other people in my team, a great attitude when it comes to change, and the willingness to carry out duties outside of my normal job description. I can also bring a passion for my work, which means everything I do for you will be completed to a brilliant standard. I can also bring a fast pace of working. So in my last job, my manager often praised me for the fact that I tended to get more work done than the average employee. Finally, I can bring a frugal way of working, which means I will always try to help you save money by taking care of company supplies and resources. Another brilliant answer. And also, don't forget, make sure you subscribe to this channel. We have literally well over 2 million subscribers now from around the world. Lots of you are passing your job interviews. Hopefully you can see why. By subscribing, I can help you pass every job interview, negotiate a salary and get promoted. And also, just hit the like button. It's a small ask, but it really does motivate me to help you moving forward. The next common interview question: how did you hear about this position? Tip number 1, this question is being asked because the interviewer wants to be sure you are not just seeking a job with any company, because if you are, you may not stay working there for long. Tip number 2, in your answer, talk about how you have been waiting for a position to be advertised because you are genuinely attracted to their organisation. Here's my top scoring example response. How did you hear about this position? Here we go. I have wanted to work for your company for some time now because I have heard great things about how you operate and how you support your employees. I set up an online job alert for your company, and as soon as the position was advertised, I was ready to submit my CV. Now, we spend a lot of time at work, and I only want to work for a forward-thinking and progressive organisation where I can really push forward with my career. That's a great answer. Here's the next question. This is a tough common interview question. What's your ideal work environment? Wow, how do you answer this? Well, tip 1, most people have no idea what type of environment they want to work in. But this common interview question is being asked because the interviewer wants to make sure you are aware of the type of culture they have. Tip 2, I recommend researching their organisation to find out their company values and what they do to support their staff in the workplace, because this can usually be found out on their website About Us page, so make sure you check it out. Here's my example answer to help you. Common interview question: what's your ideal work environment? Here's my example answer. My ideal work environment is positive, progressive and supportive. I would like to work alongside other like-minded professionals who want to achieve great things, continually learn new skills and finish each working day having achieved something. If I work in an environment where everyone in the team looks out for each other and they seek the opportunity in every negative or difficult situation, then I know I will be happy. Finally, I want to work in an environment where there is opportunity for me to contribute to the success of the organisation. Now, this could be learning new skills, getting access to training development courses, being mentored by managers or supervisors, or even putting forward ideas that help the business to grow. Another cracking answer that's going to help you pass your interview. Here's the next common interview question. Why should we hire you? Tip number 1, this common interview question is your opportunity to sell yourself. Be confident in your abilities and go all out to really show the interviewer that you do want this position. Remember, positivity attracts positivity. Always remember that in life, always. Tip 2, again, if you can think of ways to help their organisation improve or grow, this will definitely work to your advantage. Here's my example answer to help you. Why should we hire you? You should hire me because I am a great fit for the job role, and I am also a great fit for your team due to my positivity and my desire to support others. You should also hire me because I am creative and I can bring new ideas to the company. For example, I am good on social media, which means I can help your company push its products and services to a wider international audience. Now, this will help increase sales. I'm also good with people, so whenever I am dealing with customers, I will be a positive role model and make them feel good about your company brand. Finally, you should hire me because I will take responsibility for my ongoing professional development. This then means you will always have a knowledgeable, productive and highly useful member of your team. Great answer. Here is another difficult common interview question. How do you deal with pressure or stressful situations? So this is a common but very difficult interview question to respond to. You should always have a plan in place of how you will deal with stress and pressure in the workplace. Tip number 2, in your answer, talk about prioritizing your work effectively, minimizing distractions and trying to foresee any potential problems or challenges before they occur. Here's my top scoring example answer. How do you deal with pressure or stressful situations? I deal with stress and pressure by planning my work in advance, prioritizing my tasks in line with the company's objectives, and making sure I plan for any potential problems or challenges. I am highly organized in my work, so this means stress and pressure are quite rare. However, whenever I do encounter stress or pressure, I remain calm, I assess the situation with a clear head, and I make a decision that is in the best interests of the company. A brilliant, smart, and professional answer that will help you pass your interview. Here's the next question. How would you deal with conflict in the workplace? This is a really common interview question. It's extremely common that most candidates fail to answer correctly. They end up saying they would ask their manager to deal with the conflict, but if you say that, you will probably fail your job interview. Tip 2, talk about assessing the conflict to see why it is occurring and then taking positive steps to deal with it in a professional manner that gets the team back to full working capacity very quickly. Here's my example answer to help you. Common interview question, how would you deal with conflict in the workplace? Here we go. I would first deal with the conflict by assessing my own actions to make sure I wasn't contributing negatively to the situation. I would then assess the conflict to establish the main cause or issue. I would speak to the other person or persons whom the conflict affects to find out how they feel, their opinions, and to come up with an agreeable and amicable way forward that we were all happy with. Whilst dealing with the conflict, I would always have the best interests of the team and the company at heart. Great answer. Shows you to be a really smart and professional employee. Here's the next common interview question. How do you prioritize your work? Tip number 1, this is a very common time management interview question that comes up during most job interviews. Make sure you prepare a strong and confident answer to it. Tip 2, in your response, you can talk about using a color scheme or a list to prioritize urgent and non-urgent tasks. So here's my example answer. How do you prioritize your work? I prioritize my work based on the needs of the company. I draw up a list of daily tasks and then decide which ones need to be completed first. Level 1 or red tasks need my immediate urgent attention. Level 2 or orange tasks come next. Finally, level 3 or green tasks can be completed when I have more time available, and I also make sure there is flexibility in my working day so I can respond to urgent tasks or work requests from my manager. And that's great because you have a plan in place for prioritizing and organizing your work. Here's the next common but difficult interview question. What are your hobbies and interests? Wow, this is tricky. Tip number 1, this question comes up often during job interviews, and the interviewer is asking it for several reasons. They want to get to know the real you and to also potentially assess if your personal life might affect your ability to perform to a competent standard at work. Tip 2, be careful which hobbies and interests you disclose. Put yourself across as a happy, fit and active person who also potentially enjoys self-development. Here's my example answer. What are your hobbies and interests? Here we go. I like to keep myself fit and active outside of work because this helps maintain a positive attitude about life, and it also increases my concentration levels. I am a family person and I enjoy spending time with them, visiting museums, parks, and also places of interest. I am also keen on self-development, and I am currently learning to play the guitar, which helps me to relax and unwind. Finally, I enjoy reading non-fiction books, and I'm partway through Jocko Willink's book, Extreme Ownership. It's a great read because it teaches you how to take full responsibility for everything that happens in your life. That's a great answer, brilliant model answer to that common interview question. Here's the next common but difficult interview questions. What are your salary expectations? Wow. Tip number 1, go to the website payscale.com and search for the salary range for your job and industry before you attend the interview. Now, this will give you a rough indication as to the going salary and something to refer to potentially in your answer. Tip 2, if you can include details of previous strong workplace performance, especially how you helped a company either grow, win a lucrative contract, or even save money, you are far more likely to get a higher salary. Here's my example answer. What are your salary expectations? Before the interview, I carried out some research to find the salary range for this job within this industry, and it comes out at between $45,050 and $55,000. Now, whilst I feel I am worth $55,000, I do appreciate you do not know me, and I have a responsibility to prove to you my worth. Therefore, I would be comfortable with a salary of $52,500, and I believe you will see a positive return on your investment at that amount. Here's the next common but difficult interview question. Tell me about a time when you worked as part of a team. Tip 1. So this is called a behavioural interview question, and you must give a specific situation you have previously been in where you worked with other people as part of a team. Tip 2. In your answer, talk about what you did as part of a team to achieve a common goal. Now, I recommend talking about how you listened to each other in the team and how everyone was encouraged to contribute. Here's a brilliant example answer. Common interview question. Tell me about a time when you worked as part of a team. Here we go. In a previous role, my manager asked the team I was working in to brainstorm new ideas for increasing company sales. We held a meeting and discussed various ideas that we all felt could work. During the team discussions, we listened to each other, we created an environment where no idea was off limits, and we utilised each other's strengths to create a list of potential ideas. Now, my idea was to implement an online customer review facility on our website where customers could leave feedback based on their experience. Now, after the meeting, we presented all of our ideas to our manager, and she then chose 5 to implement, including mine. Now, these ideas worked so well that the company's sales increased by 17%. That's a great combined team effort, and there is a positive outcome at the end. Here's the next common interview question. Are you applying for other jobs? Tip 1. Now, whilst it is important to be truthful in your answer, bear in mind that if you are applying for other jobs, the hiring manager may be put off by this because it could indicate that you don't really care which company you work for. Tip 2. Now, the best way to answer this question is when you are totally focused on getting a job with their company and you have put all of your effort into the selection and application process. Here's my example response. Are you applying for other jobs? No, I am currently only interested in working for your company. I have put all of my effort into creating a strong resume and researching your organisation in preparation for this interview. At this moment in time, you are the only company I want to work for, and I see myself building a long-term career here if I am successful. Here's the next question. That's the end of the interview. Do you have any questions? Tip 1. Do not say, like so many candidates do, that you have no questions because they covered everything in the interview. Don't do that. Tip 2, ask just 3 smart questions that put you across as an ambitious considerate. and keen person who wants to do a great job for them in the position. Here's my 3 questions to help you. Do you have any questions? Yes, I do. I would like to ask just 3 questions, please. Question 1. What advice would you give to the successful candidate who wants to really excel in the position? Question number 2. Can you please tell me a little bit more about the team I would be a part of in the company? That's a good question. Question 3. What are the next stages of the process, and when can I contact you to get the result of my interview? So that last question is good because it shows you are keen and enthusiastic, and also you want to know what happens next, because a lot of people complain that they never hear from the interviewer after a few days and then they don't know what to do. But that question certainly negates that problem. Now, the next thing to do, make sure you click that link right now in the top right hand corner of the video. Head straight through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can instantly download my full set of 20 common interview questions and top scoring answers in a PDF guide. Don't forget, you get all of the questions and answers that I covered today during this presentation, and you also get the tips too. Make sure you check that out. I love helping you to pass your interviews. Please don't forget to subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button. Please give the video a like. That does motivate me to create more tutorials for you. And don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video, and it's always a pleasure and an honor to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial and for supporting my channel. I wish you all the best. For passing your job interview, have a great day.